And one of the reasons why one of the previous constitutions didn't get adopted was because of the land issue, and where they kind of took that approach, defining ancestral, native, and all those different terminologies. So I would just like to know your thoughts, as someone in the legal world. What do you think? What approach would be best for the Constitution to resolve that issue? Because at some point it will come up about land. So, what approach do you think the convention should take in addressing the land issue in terms of the Constitution?
It's definitely a very complicated legal issue
Mm-hmm.
because on one end, right, it's fundamentally illegal to give a special privilege to any group in a
Mm-hmm.
constitution, right?
Yes.
So it will be very difficult to even get it approved.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, NLBR, we are still a U.S. territory,
Yeah.
right? And Article 4 of the U.S. Constitution gives the right to Congress to approve measures for territories, which we
Mm-hmm.
are, all right?
Yeah.
And the U.S. Constitution clearly states that you cannot have that's like equal protections issue,
Mm-hmm.
and it will just be struck down very quickly
Yeah.
if it was somehow miraculously approved. It will get brought up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, especially with the demographic that it has currently, will be like,
Mm-hmm.
this is unconstitutional. And then now we kind of back in square one. Now we have an
Yeah.
unconstitutional constitution that we will either have to amend or have that part stricken out, or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
case may be. The Supreme Court would decide at that point. But there are mechanisms that you can protect native rights with treaties.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The United States have many treaties with natives, Native Americans, Native American people, right? And I think that's a avenue that can be explored, right? And then we do still have the Department of Interior, right?
Mm-hmm.
That also can be used as a resource to make sure that First Nationals land rights are protected in perpetuity. All right. So we could have those protected rights for Virgin Islanders, because I do think it's very important that we do protect the rights of Virgin Islanders, especially property rights, especially that based on the language of the documents that was created via the sale of the U.S. Virgin Islands to the United States from Denmark. So I think it is a complicated issue. It's definitely something that we will explore as a delegation. I'm looking forward to having this conversation with the legal minds in the delegation and beyond delegation, because we will be using outside help for a variety of different. That's an important part of the convention, and we'll kind of figure out what will be the best case scenario and best solution for that issue. But it is a very important issue, and like you said, it's one of the reasons why the fifth constitution didn't pass.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that, and I wanted to just ask that because that's always been an issue coming up about how the Constitution can protect Virgin Islanders in terms of their land, but without infringing on that section of the Constitution, like you pointed out. So I just wanted to ask that because that's always been a discussion, or that's always been a conversation about land and what really considers a Virgin Islander, and all of those different things, which you really can't do. So that's one, like I said, one of the reasons why the last one did not make it far. We don't have a constitution because that's one of the reasons why. So I wanted to just ask that.